Sounds good.
Good afternoon. This is Kira Schultz, and I am with Emma Rose Taven at RIT on May 20th, 2023. As part of the Lambda network at Kodak Reunion, we are conducting brief oral history interviews with Lambda members. Who am I speaking with today?
My name is Judy Dobles.
All right, Judy. What was your name at Kodak when you became involved with Lambda?
Judy Dobles. Okay. Same.
Did I say name? I meant to say what was your job.
Okay.
My apologies. So what was your job at Kodak when you became involved with Lambda? There we go.
So I was a finance director at Kodak.
Perfect. And what were some of the things you did with Lambda?
So I was involved in some of the skits. So when they did the Coda Wood squares, I was in one of the boxes, and basically I was an ally that they could depend on. So I remember that every time an event was coming up, I would get a call from somebody, oh, would you do this, would you do that? And
Awesome.
then I would say yes.
And what are some of your favorite memories of the Lambda network?
So I think one of the things that I really liked is there was a book on sexual orientation by Heather Wizik. I'm not sure I pronounced that name correctly, and I found the book, and then they did a lot of like workshop types of things, and Heather actually came and spoke at Lambda Network. And I found that so useful because they really talked about what is it like, what is the being gay at Kodak, what does that really mean? And talking about how, pretend this is Star Wars, and you walk in the door and you put your shield up. And so all day you've got your shield up, and how tiring that might be to do that. And then in that particular session, they had us break out into small groups, and we essentially were asked the question, you are now going to talk to somebody for 2 minutes, and you are to use no pronouns. You are not to talk about your family. You are not to talk about home life. You just have to talk. And basically, everybody was like, well, what do I say? What do I say? Because typically when you're talking, it's always about family, and she did, and he did, and when you can't use any of that vocabulary, it's very hard.
Wow, that's incredible. My next question for you is, what did your participation in Lambda mean to you?
I think it goes back a little bit to the question you asked before. Is to me what it meant was, number one, a much better understanding of the experience that gay people have, and how tiring it can be. And secondarily, it gave me the ability to have friends that you could partner with, and it was a safe place. It was like a lot of the networks where, as a straight person, if I had a question, I could ask it, and nobody would laugh, nobody would say it was a stupid question, and then they would help you. You could get a little bit of education along the way, and it became, then lastly, to me, it became a way to become a stronger ally in the workplace. And I would say almost everybody that was in the network that was straight, well, even gay people, but I'm talking specifically now about straight, you would put the Lambda triangle on your door. So we had magnets made up and it was very unobtrusive, but you put it on your door, and when people walked in your office, they knew it was safe.
That's amazing. My final question for you today is there anything else you want us to know about Lambda?
Well, they were fun. Definitely an energetic, fun group of people that really wanted to make positive policy change, positive change in the workplace, and did it in a fun way. They talked about Sue Connolly, and one of the things at Kodak that was very impressive is in organizational design and behavior, they used principles around being fun and having alternative ways for sharing messages. So you just didn't sit and look at a PowerPoint, boom, boom, bullet, bullet, bullet. You participated, you acted, you felt things, and I think that made it much more successful because it had this lasting impression. You know, like I mentioned, when we sat around and we, for 2 minutes, had to just talk. I mean, who knows? That could have been 25 years ago, and that is still like crystal clear in my mind.
That's incredible. You can definitely feel that same energy in the room today. And I think Emma Rose and I are both really kind of thriving on it. It makes us want to talk with you guys more and learn even more about it. So thank you again, Judy, for sitting down with us today. That was the end of my questions.
No problem.
You can absolutely